Good evening, Rask enjoyers. Hope you're doing alright, 'cause it's time for Profit Review. Last week, we discussed the last rush store for July 2025, that being July 31, and of course, that means today, we're here to talk about the August Force Wipe, August 7's rush store. So sit back and relax, I'm going to start yapping. So here is a very big rush store with a lot of skins being accepted, and if you do not fully remember, when we saw this rush store come out, at the same time, we also had the pilot pack. So you may recall we had the airplane pilot theme skins being accepted. Pretty cool. So, alright, nice. Do you remember that pilot pack? So we got the special pilot hazmat. We got the strange but cool looking chair. But do you remember we also got that very cool looking M15 pistol? And that pistol, it glowed in the dark, didn't it? Yeah. Very nice. Useful, wasn't it? This is what it looks like now. They changed it apparently. Someone mentioned it. I checked for myself. Yes, they have changed it. So that's what it used to look like. That's what it looks like now. Oh, great. Thank you. So, yeah, that happened. I thought I'd just bring it to your attention. So anyway, pretty big looking rush door. But what's my first impression? Well, first of all, 2 garage doors in the same rush door, but also 2 jackhammers in the same rush door. Never seen anything like that before. So, okay, cool. Fair enough. Another Sinotype skin is here. Who'd have guessed? We also happen to get another Island Assault skin. Consecutive acceptances over the course of 3 weeks. Well, things were looking pretty interesting there. I noticed with this sheet in the door, it glows, has transparency. Oh, we've had a lot of doors like that in the past that have worked out very, very nicely. Another random pair of boots that completes a collection of clothing and armour. That took almost a whole year to finally be accepted. But after just like a few hours of sales, this already looked like it was going to sell just a little bit too much. We had a glow-in-the-dark double-barrel shotgun. It's weird how that's happened twice this year. A pair of tools. Overall, yeah, it was a pretty fine-looking rush store. Now, it's something I just had to quickly remind you. With this rush store, if I can recall, this is when they had the revamp and they changed the UI. They changed the rush store in-game, and they added a new feature, basically saying, this is the featured skin of the week. What exactly is a featured skin of the week? We don't know yet. But Dominus Mortis was the first ever promoted skin in such a way. We'll talk more about that in a bit, don't you worry. Because what does that mean? Well, you'll see what happens. Anyway, so looking at all these skins, of course, I had to try and figure out what potentially is going to be the best investment for this week. And as I alluded to, Fuselage sheet on the door really did look like it could potentially be something pretty interesting. So I recalled in the past we have seen the Brutalist sheet on the door, we have seen the Bombshell sheet on the door, and very, very recently we also saw the B sheet on the door. Now there's other options, but basically all these sheet on the doors, they glow in the dark and they're transparency. Very useful. Fuselage sitting here at $3. I thought, well, you know what? Maybe that could be it could be pretty interesting. The transparency wasn't huge. The glow in the dark wasn't super blatant, but it was there. Maybe that could work out quite nicely. Looking at all the other skins, Island Assault Team Backpack, it looked interesting. We just had the tier 2. I thought, well, you know what? I knew a jacket was on the horizon. Skin creator kept saying that he was going to expect to make a jacket fairly soon, so okay. Maybe we'll see that the very next week as well. So it was looking pretty sweet. I remember what happened the previous week when the tier 2 was accepted. The hoodie and pants and all the other bits and pieces, they spiked them on, spiked the price ever so nice. So I thought, yeah, maybe some interesting things could be happening in the future. Looking at all the other skins, of course, had to mention the Sinotype skin. Looked reliable. But we started to notice Sinotype skins just kept selling more and more and more and more. Could that become a bit of a concern? Looking at all the other skins, so as I mentioned, 2 Jackhammers. Earlier this year, at this specific point, we had seen the Black Ops Jackhammer and we saw the fancy old Twitch drop. So overall, we don't actually have that many Jackhammer skins. But to see 2 in a single rush store, well then that's that's a bit it could be a bit of a problem. Maybe that could still work out. Again, if we do not see another Jackhammer for the rest of the year, maybe things could actually generally work out quite all right. But it is August. We're getting closer and closer to September, October, November. The autumn fall season will dip. Maybe things could get pretty bad. So honestly, overall, the rest of the skins didn't really look super appealing. Pretty straightforward there, sorry to say, but yeah, I could kind of foresee it. So right then, With all the interesting looking selection of skins and whatnot, what do the first 24 hours of sales look like? So let's hop out of here, show it to you right here. So after the first 24 hours of sales, Sinotype it had almost 26,000 subscribers. However, just to clarify, I was like a little bit late. Early rust rotation, forgot about that, missed it by 2 hours. So just to clarify. But to my surprise, Dominus Mortis SAR, second highest selling skin. We have Island Assault backpack right there. We have a very cool looking garage door right there, but no, Dominus Mortis SAR. And for quite a long time, it just confused me. Why? Why? Featured skin of the week. We were rolling with the assumption that people probably thought there was some sort of special promotion or something special about it. No, it was just a SAR. Just a SAR skin. So this was new to people. We kind of roll the idea that maybe people thought something was special if you bought it, so that's why it got a lot of sales. Looking at the other skins, so of course, Island Assault Team Backpack, less sales compared to what we saw the previous week, Tier 2, and of course the week before about the hoodie and pants. Actually, it's similar to the hoodie and pants sales. Okay. Garage Door selling a lot, the other Garage Door not selling so much. Modern military boots, oh my. It was becoming more and more obvious that these were just simply selling far too much in comparison to its clothing and armor set. We'll talk more about that in a bit, don't you worry. Jackhammers, they were fairly similar. Still wasn't fully sure if they'll be alright. Fuselage Sheep with a Door. It was the one skin I was very curious about. It was the one skin I thought, you know what, that might have a pretty good future ahead of it. Seventh best selling skin out the batch. Okay, that's pretty interesting. But could that also be a lack of interest? But then again, it did over 10,000 subscribers after the first 24, so yeah, okay, fair enough. Remaining skins, though, didn't really have that much faith. Glow in the Dark double barrel shotgun, you have no chance, sorry to say. Sunflowers, I wasn't really sure about the Sunflowers garage door. Didn't glow or anything. Pretty interesting, nice visual, but yeah, is that it? Yeah. And then the tools. I have nothing against the Gold Chains collection, but it is a bit of a funny collection. But yeah, tool skins, they're never reliable. They are never reliable, so. Okay, well, sales look pretty interesting. How did things turn out? What prices did we suggest when we approached the abnormal buyers? I've got everything to the side here nice and ready. Let's start going through all the skins. Right then, so hopping over to here. On the night, I can't see it super well, it was around this time that we started using Skinlytics.app, and also we started using Rust Help. This is a brand new website that also showcases sales and whatnot. So I can see right here that I've got to kind of zoom in a little bit more. 43,000 subscribers on the Sinotype or large box. I can see that the Dominus Mortis SAR had about 30,000 plus sales as well, subscribers, ridiculous. But come on now, Hedge, what prices did you suggest when you looked at all the skins? So like all the previous Sinotype skins, they sell for $2.49. With more and more skins being accepted, and with more of a complete collection being made, I rolled with the idea of sticking with the $1.70 to $2.20 buy order. As we go through the autumn fall seasonal dip, I was expecting most of these Sinotype skins to kind of be stuck at around $3 on average. That was my expectation. So $1.70 to $2.20 seemed alright. Alright, cool. Final Flight garage door. So you had reached about 23,000 subscribers. It did look pretty cool. Didn't really trust it though. Again, how many garage doors have we had accepted so far this year? At this specific point, quite a lot. It really did look like that 2025's garage door acceptances was going to easily surpass the likes of the 2024 batch, which was, of course, the record-breaking amount, 34. So, yeah, I didn't fully trust it. I suggested 80 cents to $1.10. The Island Assault Team Backpack, I thought Island Assault was very in demand. But during this week, with this Rust store, we started to notice that the prices of the Island Assault skins were starting to drop off. Now, initially, I just thought, okay, maybe people are a little bit worried about the autumn fall seasonal dip. Maybe they're just selling now. We will talk more about that in a bit, don't you worry. So, yeah, I thought $1 to $1.50 for a skin that had just over 21,000 subscribers. Now, modern military boots. Oh, no, they're not abnormal, sorry. Next skin. Supreme Jackhammer. Selling at $2.49. We don't get that many Jackhammer skins being accepted. It's very uncommon. But again, 2 Jackhammers in the same rust store. At least this ISO Param Jackhammer was a collection continuation. There might be more skins after this. I rolled with the idea of doing $1.20 to $1.70. If we do not see and have a Jackhammer skin throughout the rest of this year, around post-Christmas, I could see some pretty interesting prices for that. So, okay, cool, that was nice. Now, in regards to the Afterburner double barrel shotgun, because it glowed in the dark, I just did not want to go near it. You may recall, for Lunar New Year of 2025, we saw a glow in the dark double barrel shotgun then, and I saw that crash and burn, so I did not trust. This, what price did it sell for again? $3. Whoa, okay, yeah, 60 cents to 80 cents. Gold Chains Tools, Pickaxe and Hatchet, 60 cents to 80 cents. And Sunflower Garage Door, that really lost its momentum. Ended up being the lowest selling skin out of the whole batch. For that $2 skin, I suggested only 70 cents to $1. Oh, we didn't mention the Fuselage Sheet Metal Door. Sorry about that. The skin I had quite a lot of interest in. The glow-in-the-dark transparent design, $1.20 to $1.80. It was a $3 skin, but I still couldn't help but assume it was going to probably drop down in price. Again, we were about to go through the autumn-fall seasonal dip. So, okay, mention that. And for the regular skins, Dominus Mortis SAR, I thought it sold an absurd amount. I didn't trust it. I couldn't understand why it sold so much, other than, well, a lot of people saw that as a featured skin and probably thought something special was about it. So, yeah. Was it special? Not really, sorry to say. But anyway, moving on. Modern military boots. You clearly sold far too much in comparison to the clothing armor in your set. With around 20,000 subscribers almost, I did not trust it whatsoever. So for that, selling at 99 cents, I suggested 50 cents to 60 cents. So that's pretty much everything there. Well, what was the outcomes? How did everything turn out? Let's now hop over to here and start yapping. So, Sinotype or large box, you were fine. It was just fine, nothing special. Right now, slightly under $3, as expected. But if you were to look at all the Sinotype skins, some are a little bit higher, some are a fair bit low. On average, I do believe it's around $3 for most of them. When I made a video discussing what to expect with the collection, having, making a nice reference to the graffiti storage collection, remembering how that rolled out and whatnot, I expected all of these skins to end up at around $3 as we go through October. And right now, yeah, some of them are doing a fair bit better, but I would say most of them are around $3. Not too ridiculously high in price, other than Sinotype firearms, which, with all due respect, we can understand that. So, did you end up going below your roster price? Let's just quickly talk about that. Because, of course, I suggested $1.70 to $2.20. I can confirm it has dropped off somewhat recently, but it doesn't look like it's going to go down in price that much more. And if anything, this looks like it's starting to climb back up again. That is kind of surprising. Typically, I'd expect where, with all the skins that come out in the year, when they go through their first autumn-fall seasonal dip, I usually expect them to reach a new low point for the year. And, well, to be honest with you, around here, you can kind of see it. This did go below its roster price, just to confirm that. Right now, it has recovered, and, well, the barders are there, but it has lost the majority of the barders above $2. But give it time, with more and more skins being accepted, you can assume that will work out. So, did you buy any of these storages? I did. So, with all the barders above $2 basically vanishing, I wonder what happened. Buy orders. Yeah, we picked up a lot of these, yes we did. But with its current position, and with the expectations for this collection to slowly progress and nicely, slowly, gradually rise up in price, it's expected that we're going to see the first initial big push as we go through January 2026, post-Christmas, right? So no complaints here from me, but looking at that 46 there, no wonder it's not really moving that much at the moment. Gotta love other people. So, yeah. So that's just basically matched up to expectation, no complaints here. Dominus Mortis SAR. Who would have guessed? Sold for $2 and now it's at 75 cents. So that in total did almost 35,000 subscribers. But as we hop over to here and see it on the Steam market, it is not currently holding up very nicely. So, yeah. Sold far too much. Sold far too much. But look at all the barders here as well. It's like nothing. Yeah, you do have this one guy here at 364. But, there's no, other people, other higher price numbers, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So, yeah, not surprised by that. So that matched up to expectation. Final Flight Garage Door. I didn't really trust that, did I? So what price did I suggest to that? 80 cents to $1.10. Well, at the moment, I guess I'm right. So let me just also clarify. Right now, as I record this, it's the first week of October. Technically speaking, right now, it should be the worst, the absolute worst of the autumn fall seasonal dip. If this is it at its worst, okay, cool. Seems I've matched up with a perfect suggestion with a price. Could it go any lower? Yeah, it could. Everything can always go lower. But could it rebound? Could this be appreciated? I'm starting to question it a little bit more because we do still keep seeing more garage doors. We're about to have Halloween, and the amount of garage doors I've seen submitted for Halloween this year, I just can't help but assume, yeah, we're going to probably see another 2. We're getting closer and closer to 34. By the time it's Christmas, for sure, I will not be surprised in the slightest that we will surpass last year's record-breaking amount and potentially have 35 plus garage doors just this year. Now, with all the brand new Skinnables expected on the horizon, maybe rust doors would be a whole lot more diverse, more like different types of items getting skins accepted in rust doors. Maybe we can start seeing a lot less sheepman doors, garage doors, AK-47 skins being accepted in rust doors. We'll see. But this isn't a surprise. There's just far too many options for garage doors this year, and it's a struggle for them to maintain your interest. It's a struggle for them to maintain their price. So, okay, fair enough. So, moving on, what else do we have? Island Assault Team Backpack. And to my surprise, this has actually dropped off pretty hard. But if you actually look at the collection, yeah. So, the kilt, still struggling. The other tier 2 pieces, still struggling. Where's the coffee can? I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, so, there's a lot of people kind of scared about what's going on with Island Assault. But I'm still rolling with the expectation that it has a nice rebound eventually as we go through the post-Christmas time. I really am hoping. But hey, if this is it at its worst, alright, fair enough. It's not like it's crashing and burning. If you want to see something crashing and burning, look at the kilt. We'll take a look at it in a second, don't you worry. But yes, I roll with the expectation that, yeah, it's going to probably drop off a bit, but it did drop off more than just a bit. It went less than $1.50. But it's only like 10 listings below. It's not that bad. So, okay, fair enough. If the Island Assault collection gets a nice rebound, and if I could also just quickly point out, we never got that jacket skin accepted, did we? No. But a second attempt has appeared like so. So, maybe that might be the one. Remember, Cyber Jacket got picked over this. Well, the first version. This has been redone. Had a few changes. You can see all the changes being mentioned here. But in regards to, like, will this ever recover along with its collection? Here's hoping. Because I did invest quite a lot. So that kilt, how are you currently holding up as we're sitting here in the first week of October? Let's just get a nice little update. Because for the past 3 weeks of doing profit reviews, you'd have seen me rambling and ranting about this. So one of the big problems is people keep unloading big fat stacks of this, as you'll see. And to my surprise, it quite literally has ended up exactly like Reptile Hunter. Because whilst Reptile Hunter did struggle initially, it went up in price ever so nicely in the future. Reptile Hunter kilt, it got real cheap at one point, but right now it's sitting there at $5 plus, almost $6. What happened? Well, people did truly start to appreciate it. So as long as there is demand for the set, it will gradually start to go up in price. I even mentioned it as I talked about it before I bought a bunch of those Island Assault kilts. I just thought, well, I got a bunch of money, I could buy something. Well, why not buy it when it was cheaper, Hedge? So, yeah, good job, well done. I wanted to buy something. Anyway, so in regards to what we have here, not that bad, but it did drop off. But I did also suggest $1. It looks like it's still comfortably staying above the $1 price. So, okay, fair enough. And Island Assault Team Backpack, whilst you have dropped off, it's not like the worst. But I don't think I can be upset with myself with my suggestion. Yes, I have picked up a bunch of these with my buy orders. I think I'll be all right. So, all right. Wait till post-Christmas, January 2026. What about military boots? I wasn't wrong. So if I could just quickly show you this. So modern military collection, or military collection, it's weird. It's either modern military or military, blah, 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 blah. So when the boots appeared, these did spike in price quite a fair bit. In the past, back in 2023, we saw the hoodie and pants being accepted. Now, that was the final core piece to be accepted. See these two pieces here? 14,000 subscribers almost. Roadstone gloves, just under 9,000. Tier 2 here, about 9 to 10,000 subscribers. When the hoodie and pants appeared, 44,000 subscribers. And for a very long time, they struggled. But with Desert Raiders constantly going up in price more and more and more and more, people looked at the military collection as a cheaper option for desert camouflage, even though it's a darker tint, but hey, I guess it works. So that did eventually work out quite alright. These boots are currently struggling. They are down by almost a quarter, so let's just look at you specifically on the Steam market. If the hoodie and pants could recover, surely the boots can as well, right? We'll see. But then again, how often are you using your boots? Are you a barefoot enjoyer? But yes, this looks like this definitely looks like it's going to take some time to recover, but it does look like it could potentially recover. So the boots, in the end, you did how many subscribers? Oh, 21,000. It became the second highest selling clothing armor piece, or rather set option, because hoodie and pants were the most, weren't they? So the boots sold more than the tier 3 and the tier 2 is basically what I'm trying to get across. That's why it's kind of a bit funny at the moment. As time goes on, surely you might be appreciated. We'll see. So I suggested 50 cents to 60 cents for that. Have you picked up any? I have, and I'm going to hold it out, wait a bit longer and see what happens next. I'm not going to complain about that. Isoprem Jackhammer, 21,000 subscribers in total. You are currently down by half your price. Isoprem Jackhammer, I suggested $1.20 to $1.70. I'm not upset. I'm not upset with the fact that you have gone down to the lower price I suggested. I have bought a bunch of these with a buy order. Did you notice something? Only 32 listings. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I'm quite happy with that, because remember, how many other Jackhammer skins have we had accepted this year? 0. Maybe we'll see one for Halloween, but I haven't seen anything yet. Maybe we'll see one for Christmas, but, you know, still got to wait another 2 months. Once we're past this sort of 4 seasonal dip, I wouldn't be surprised if this actually rebounds quite nicely. Post-Christmas, I could see it working out quite all right. If we get the chainsaw becoming skinnable and we get an isoprem chainsaw, I think it might pair up quite nicely with that, just saying. So, alright, cool. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, I'm not upset. I think that's not too bad. Selling 25 today in the past 24 hours. That's not too bad. Okay, I'm not that upset with that. But it did drop off from like the higher price I suggested, $1.70. But hey, I picked them up for 80 cents cheaper than what they were in the rest store. Just saying. Okay, Fuselage Sheet Matador. I did pick up a bunch of these with my barter. Yes, indeed I did. This has lost a ton. Oh my. Sold for $3. I suggested $1.20 to $1.80. It's 60 cents. I got this wrong. I'm surprised. I made a short video showcasing and everything, but it seems people do not care for this. I will reiterate. Transparency, glow in the dark, but no, don't care. Okay, oops. So, if I could just quickly remind you that earlier this year, we had the B Metal Door. That's down by about a quarter of its price. Sold for $3, now it's $2.30. Quite some time back, we of course saw the Brutalist Sheet Matador and of course the Bombshell Sheet Matador. Brutalist is currently $12.50. It peaked at about $15 during the summer this year. And then we have Bombshell here at $6.80. That peaked up about close to $10 in the summer this year. Those are like the best options, but they are pricey. Now we do have other things. I should also point out, there was the Twitch drop last year from Crowley. Lovely bit of transparency and glow in the dark. Maybe people have that and they're happy. But this year, we had seen the B. We'd seen Cobbled Jungle. That didn't glow in the dark, but that did have transparency. So like, down bad, oh dear. There's just no winning. So I'm not really sure what to say. Other than, yeah, I screwed up there. And I suffered as well. I bought a bunch of them with buy orders. Wasn't fast enough to remove it. So if you've picked up some as well, feel free to comment below. And hey, we'll just have to wait and see what happens next. But yeah, that's not doing good, is it? No. With the Aviator Jackhammer. So I suggested $1 to $1.50 for that. And I'm not sure if I said that out loud. But all right. It sold at $2. It's currently sitting here at $1.20. So it's not terrible. It's not the worst. And again, not that many listings. Please remember this. I don't really expect another Jackhammer skin to be accepted this year. Christmas is more likely. But if we start seeing a whole lot more other types of skinnables, well, becoming skinnable, and then being accepted in Rust stores, you're probably not going to see that many Jackhammers being accepted for a longer time. And that's totally fine with me. So, very similar to what we saw with the Isoprime Jackhammer. It's not down super bad. It is down to the lower price I suggested. But I'm not upset with that. And I have picked up a few of these as well for Builder. So, feel free to comment below if you've been as successful. But I am keen to see what happens next. I'm very keen to see what happens next. So, not too upset I am. Cool. So, let's just close these. Let's now talk about the Afterburner double barrel shotgun. Or rather, first of all, let's just quickly point out the other double barrel shotgun skin I saw earlier this year. Chinese Lantern, a big bright orange design, and at night time, glows in the dark, super noticeable, down to less than $1. And back then, when I first saw this, where are we? Afterburner, yep. I saw that, I was like, yeah, same thing's going to happen to this. Afterburner is quite literally $1. Quite literally $1. So I wasn't surprised. Wasn't surprised. In fact, it looks like this went down. It's starting to climb back up again. So this was actually cheaper at one point, about 80 cents apparently. The actual sales are less than $1, but the lowest listing is $1. So I think what's happened is people probably sold to the highest buy orders, and then some people actually buying it from what's here. So maybe that's what's happening. But anyway, it glows in the dark. People don't want that. So they don't want to be seen at night time. Why would you make it harder for yourself? So yeah, we suggested 60 cents to 80 cents for that, didn't we? Not too bad, I guess. But again, if it was a bunch of buy orders only got up to about 60 to 80 cents, the people with 80 cents most likely probably did get dumped on. So feel free to comment below if you're one of them. Right then, well, tools, 60 cents to 80 cents I suggested, and they are down to $1.82. So yeah, that happened. Kind of surprised to see this literally at 82 cents, but it's there. It's 82 cents. Oh, there you go. A very smart individual has done that. 23. Why? I don't know. Why? Why not just turn it into metal? Well, okay, then fair enough. So, yeah, other people exist, and they don't make it any easier for yourself. And over to here, yeah. So, tools, they're just not appreciated. Do you have an answer as to why? Because I still don't fully understand. Why do people not want to skin their tools? I don't know. So, let's just quickly look at all the pickaxes this year. They're all in the red, and last year's ones, they're all in the red, and the year before that, they're all in the red. We had to go all the way down to 2018 to finally see some in the green. So that doesn't look pretty. And then hatchets. Is the Wasteland hatchet still minute plated? Yes, $37 apparently. But all the other ones are red. We had to go all the way down to 2019 to see the spring hatchet, and it's only up by about 8 cents. So yeah, that's a perfect showcase of tool skins. Not reliable, 60 cents to 80 cents. Yeah, chances are you did pick up a bunch of these hatchets. Is it the end of the world for it? I don't know. Gold Chains collection is a funny one. We recently got the boots accepted. They've already gone down in price. Where's all the tier 2, the tier 3 and the hoodie and pants? Well, it was submitted, but it wasn't accepted. Face Punch doesn't seem to like it, but they still accept like boots every now and then. Okay, anyway, so that's it really. Just, yeah, ta-da. And then we have the garage store, Sunflower's garage store that is. And yeah, I thought about it, questioned it, sold for $2. I knew we had a ton of garage stores this year and that was starting to become a problem. So I said 70 cents to $1. And well, sitting here at 90 something cents, 94, so I couldn't read it properly. So, yeah, not that many listings. But is there even that much interest as well? Let's just go find out. 13 sales have happened today. Interesting. Well then. Maybe it might rebound, we'll see, but it doesn't seem like there's that much interest. And it's not surprising considering the amount of garage doors we've seen being accepted so far this year. Yeah, so it is what it is. Sorry, but yeah. So overall, everything went down basically. But with that, I don't think we're going to see anything like that happening ever again in regards to like the featured phenomenon. Yeah, so it was new to people back then, but now people just kind of used to it. So yeah, but everything did go down in price. But that is basically what's happened to every single Rust skin right now. We're in the worst of it with the Auto 4 seasonal dip. So if you have funds, start looking around for investments. Make a move. If you've seen certain skins rise up in price very nicely this past summer, Wouldn't help but assume they'll rise back up again around post-Christmas. So look around for those investments. Go grab some. Pick them up for their cheap price right now, because it is expected that things are going to slowly start rising up in price. And the closer we get to the end of December, early January time, the better, all right? So it's up to you. So let's just get a nice little sneak peek for next week. We see another Sinotype skin. So one thing I don't think we acknowledged is that we didn't see a wooden double door. For August, the wooden double door was the focused item of the month. So that was the first one, and looking very, very nice. Another garage door. Well, there you go. Surprise. A satchel charge? Well, that's been about like a year and a half. Well, that's pretty interesting. And then we saw a Black Ops Python, which apparently had transparency, but we had to clarify. No, it's just a standard Python. So, yeah, all of those skins went down in price as well, didn't they? So, of course, next week I'll talk about how we approached it and what we thought at the time. But yeah, that didn't. Every single skin is basically down in price at the moment. So, yeah. Stay optimistic. It's not the end of the world. Maybe this recent update hasn't been the most fun either. October Force Wipe. But with the naval update, I really do believe things are going to turn around massively with that. So that's it. Feel free to comment below, brag about all the things you picked up for a cheap price, the things you actually bought. But in regards to this rust door, chances are, if you only bought Sinotype, or maybe you'd be happy, but then other than that, so yeah, okay. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck to each and every single one of you. And yeah, let's see if all of this eventually turns into a profit. We'll have to wait and see.